chooses.
Yay, we love Jerry.
Jerry.
I love you.
And there are 11 people now.
How can we see who they are?
Jerry commented.
Ah, makes sense.
I'm about to go live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 2020 Texas State Honors College Dramatic Adaptation Showcase. I understand that was a bit of a mouthful, but we got through that. So,
Jordan.
What? Oh. And I was muted. All right. I'll try that again. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 2020 Texas State Honors College Dramatic Adaptation Showcase. I'm Professor Jordan Morelli, and tonight you are going to witness 4 dramatic adaptation pieces in an online stage reading format. Now, a bit about this class. This class was filled with exceptional students who never cease to inspire and amaze me. And this class is taking works that are not in dramatic form and then basically turning them into plays of their own creation. We have 4 exceptional adaptations, like I said before, all written by students, directed by students, and starring students. So without further ado, I'm going to back away and let the students do their thing with our first reading. And to introduce that, here is student Crystal Lopez.
Hi, I'm Crystal. I am directing the reading of A Drunken Sailor by Jonah Gellington, and it's adapted from the sea shanty A Drunken Sailor. There we got the cast of characters, Roger and Sam. Lights up, a small living room is illuminated by lamps to reveal a crusty antique couch, a small armchair, and a wooden rocking chair. A small CRT TV can be seen as well as several shelves filled with knickknacks and photographs. Some photographs are facing down and can't be viewed, and others prominently display young men in naval uniforms. On the wall are other photographs, some empty spaces with bare nails, and a large painting of a sea captain in a yellow raincoat. In the corner is a roll-top desk with a small wooden chair in front of it. There's the smell of freshly made coffee and dust, accompanied by the faint sounds of a coffee percolator and shuffling noises upstairs. Roger walks in from the kitchen with a mug full of coffee that reads, "I'm a veteran. Mondays hate me." We hear him before we see him, and he's whistling the old sea shanty, Drunken Sailor. He's wearing a very faded sweater with collared shirt underneath, khaki slacks, and house shoes. Roger takes a sip of his coffee, he smiles, and crunches on coffee grounds.
Still can't make it like you, Sylvia.
Roger walks over to his desk and opens it to reveal a few drawers, some paper and pen. He sits down and begins to write. A knock is heard at the door.
I don't get my checks until the 5th. Come back later.
Another knock followed by the doorbell. Roger stands up and angrily shuts the roll top, knocking his mug over and onto the floor, splashing coffee on his sweater in the process.
Holy hell. Jesus criminy.
Roger shuffles to the door.
What? You wanted to evict me, you could have called on the phone. Who are you?
Sam is dressed in layered tank tops, capris, and copious amounts of bracelets. She has a cheetah print backpack slung over her shoulder.
I'm from the high school down the street.
Fundraiser or something?
No, I'm looking for Roger Clemenson.
Check Springside Retirement Living down Oak Fields Lane. They probably have a few Roger Clemensons you could talk to.
Do you know a Daniel Clemenson?
I know his name, but that's about it. If he's in any kind of trouble, I don't want any part of it, so if...
That's my dad.
What?
I think you're my grandpa.
You're saying Daniel's got a kid? He's not even married.
He was.
How old are you?
16.
And Daniel is your dad. Well, that is something.
Can I come in?
I'm not really prepared to have people over. How about you go home and I'll call you when I'm ready?
You don't have my number.
Well, I'll find it the same way you found my address. Where did you find my address?
Facebook.
What?
You know, the website where you chat and post about your birthday or whatever. Yours says Mr. and Mrs. Clemenson.
Oh, hell, Sylvia.
Please, can I just come in? I walked from school and I won't have a ride home for another hour. Thanks. I'm Sam, by the way. I can't believe I have a grandpa. That's pretty wild.
Well, hold on. I don't know you, so as far as this goes, you're a stranger to me. When you first meet someone, you look them in the eye and you give them a firm handshake and introduce yourself.
He grabs Sam's hand and looks her in the eyes.
Hello, my name is Roger. What's yours?
Wow. 1 minute in and I'm already getting grandpa wisdom? Grandpa, why do you...
Wait just a minute. Call me Roger and I'll call you Sue.
But my name's Sam.
Sam, right. That's a boy's name, isn't it?
My name is Samantha. I'm named after my great-grandma.
So you are. So you are. Well, Samantha, what do you need from a watery sod like me?
I need a grandpa, specifically one who is a veteran.
Just find another veteran. Y'all look like grandpas nowadays.
But I'm not related to another veteran. You're the only one. And the assignment's due tomorrow.
The assignment's due tomorrow. You must be Daniel's daughter. That boy was late coming out the womb.
Can you help me?
I need to know what's on the table before I pay for it.
Of course.
Sam reaches for her backpack and pulls out a legal pad, a pencil, and a piece of paper with something typed on it.
Hello. My name is Sam, and I currently attend North Shore High School. I'm also part of Miss Spaulding's 11th grade history class, where we are learning about the rich history of America. As part of this educational process, Miss Spaulding has assigned a project where students, like myself, must interview a veteran and ask them questions about their specific branch in the military. I am now here to ask you for your help in rounding out my education and giving me the special skills required to be a productive member of society. It is with the utmost respect I ask you, sir/ma'am, may I interview you?
Miss Spaulding wrote that, did she?
Yeah, pretty lame, right?
Seems like a thing Miss Spaulding would say. Right after she slaps your hand with a ruler. All right.
What?
All right, I'll do your interview. I want to see what kind of questions Miss Spaulding would ask.
Great. Let's see. What branch of the military were you in, and how long were you enlisted?
I enlisted with the United States Navy for 20 consecutive years, 1948 to 1968.
All right, so that means you're 90 years old?
Whoa now, young lady. I'm a scrappy 75, leaner and meaner than the rest. Did Daniel tell you?
He didn't say much.
What did he say?
Well, I'm sure he said a lot of stuff. I just don't listen all the time. Kids these days, never listening, always on people's lawns. Get off my lawn.
I was born in June, but I'll ask Jim. Your father's probably never mentioned me, and I don't mention him. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say nothing. A question, everyone.
Right. We're just flying right through them. Let's see. Question 2, where were you stationed?
2? Is there any way we can hurry this along?
If you don't feel comfortable, you can pass a question. I'll just say you were uncomfortable or having PTSDs, or question 2, where were you stationed?
Which 2? I'll pass.
We can circle back around. Question 3, how many?
Pass.
Are you sure you're 75? You're acting a little childish.
Roger snatches the paper away and starts mumbling under his breath, trying his best to read. He squints and tries moving the paper to various angles. Roger then begins patting his head, chest, and hands while glancing around.
Did you see my glasses?
What?
Up here, black frame, sitting around here on the ground.
Roger gestures around and gives up.
What's the next question?
Roger hands back the paper.
Thank you. Question 4. What was a day like in the Navy?
Like the day before, an example for the one after. I roll out the hammock and the sleeping berths and get dressed by 0500 so I could grab some bilge before.
Grab what?
What?
You said you'd grab some bilge. What is that?
Bilge was important to every sailor aboard. Bilge flowed through that story like a river and kept the damn thing running when nothing else could.
Roger looks at Sam, furiously writing everything down.
You know what keeps a ship running?
Sam stops writing.
Sure, it's like a gas or fuel, right?
The kind of fuel I mean powers more than a few ships. I'm talking about coffee.
Oh, okay. What makes coffee so important?
Bilge, mud, slush, Java, cup of joe. Coffee ran the distillery with precision finer than a watch and ran early. A well-seasoned pot can keep a man sharper than a knife and happy as a clam.
A well-seasoned pot? What do you mean?
I'll show you.
Roger gets up and gestures to Sam to follow. He seems to have some energy to his step, and Sam smiles as she follows. They reach the edge of the living room, and Roger ducks into the kitchen.
Wait here.
Roger returns with a coffee pot that looks as though it hasn't been washed in years.
This pot hasn't been washed in years.
Gross.
They haven't washed the Mona Lisa in years, and it's famous.
Yeah, but I don't eat off the Mona Lisa.
A seasoned pot of coffee has years of flavor locked into it. And this is only several years old. Imagine being in my boots, riding on a destroyer and getting to drink coffee with the remnants of flavors tasted by my ancestors. Flavors so dense they rivaled iron. Nothing beats naval coffee, especially from the engine room.
What's special about the engine room coffee?
Group of men putting blood and sweat into making sure the engine runs first rate and need a good cup. So naturally, they put blood and sweat into getting the most out of their bilge. Once I walked into an engine room where the pipes have been aligned in such a way as to pass steam over a pot in order to heat it to the perfect temperature. Favorite that cup I had to this day.
You missed the coffee that bad?
More than you can imagine. When I came home between tours, I tried to go without some bilge. Slept for a week straight. I woke up with Daniel staring at me from the foot of the bed. Probably didn't recognize me after such a long leave. Sylvia learned how to make a mean pot, though. Started this season herself. I tried to hide it before she started to wash. You ever make coffee?
I see my dad make it sometimes, but my mom normally buys it from McDonald's.
Ugh, McDonald's. I've heard it all. You've done it now.
What have I done?
You're gonna make a couple bilge.
I don't really drink coffee.
In the kitchen.
Roger points in the kitchen. Sam sighs and walks into the kitchen out of sight.
There is a tin container of coffee grounds right next to the percolator.
The what?
Percolator. Coffee machine doodad, whatchamacallit. Inside that container is a scoop. Put 3 1/8 scoop into the percolator.
Okay.
Now push the button Make sure the pot is underneath.
Coffee maker is heard making coffee. There is muffled laughing from upstairs, and what sounds like a billiard ball hit the floor and roll away.
It's pretty loud around here, huh?
Noise is nice. Reminds me of being aboard.
Yeah, like having the TV on. Even if I'm not watching it, it's nice to hear people.
It's that quiet at home?
More recently than usual. People get busy.
The coffee machine starts sputtering.
What cup do I use?
There's a white mug in the upper left cabinet.
You mean the yellow one? It's dirty.
Well seasoned.
You're crazy if you think I'm gonna drink out of this thing. It smells like the Mona Lisa.
Before you pour the coffee, put 1/8 scoop of coffee grounds into the bottom of the cup.
Okay, done. I pour the coffee now?
Aye.
Sam enters with a coffee cup in her hands.
What now, Captain?
Commando. Let it steep, Swabby.
How long?
If you get the water hot enough, it shouldn't take nothing but a shade of a lamb's tail. Give it a look. Is it black?
I don't think it could get much darker.
Good. I'll give it a taste.
Sam takes a sip of the coffee.
Oh!
Sam spits the coffee out of her mouth and into a trash can.
What's the matter? Don't like the way a sailor drinks his mud?
It tastes like crap.
When you sleep on a 4-bunk hammock hanging in the brig of a story class sea during thunderstorm, it's kind of crap that keeps you out of bed. Let me have a swig.
Sam hands Roger the mug. Roger takes a swig.
Oh.
Roger crunches on coffee ground, hops a bit.
You make it worse than I do. Good skill, Sammy.
Thanks. I guess maybe I'll make it right next time.
Maybe next time.
Roger hands the mug back to Sam and grabs at his waistband.
Gotta use the head. Don't break anything.
Roger leaves Sam sitting alone on the couch. This is the first time she is alone, and she actually looks at the room for the first time. She takes in the sights and begins to walk around and view things as if she were in a museum. Sam reaches the painting of the sea captain in the yellow raincoat and stares up at it. She smiles and tries to mimic the pose of the painting. She eventually loses interest and sees the roll-top desk, specifically the coffee starting to dry on it, and the now empty mug.
And I thought my dad was messy.
Sam picks up the mug and looks for a clear spot to set it down, finds none, and opens the roll-top desk. She goes to set the mug down, but sees a piece of paper with some writing on it. She picks it up and reads it.
Dear Frogman?
She sits down in the chair in front of the desk and sees that most of the shelves have paper and envelopes, and one of the drawers inside has stamps. She pulls out a stack of letters and begins looking through them.
Hank Moore, David Smith, Jasper Johnson. Where are the addresses?
Toilet flushes. Sam stands. Roger immediately enters.
I'm never letting you make coffee again. Not with...
Roger sees Sam with the letters.
What the hell are you doing?
Oh, I just,
What are you doing at my desk?
I didn't mean...
Didn't mean to what? You're sitting at my desk rifling through my things.
I promise I didn't mean to go through anything.
You didn't mean to, but you are? Why are you here?
I'm here for the project.
Baloney. I bet you're here because Daniel thinks I'm falling apart by myself. And he wants to hear all about it.
No, my dad doesn't...
Your dad is a spineless good-for-nothing. That couldn't even help his own mother. He should have stayed away. Kept his nose out of my business and kept his kids away too.
I'm sorry for whatever my dad did, but I'm not here because of my dad. I'm here because of a project for school. Otherwise, I promise you I wouldn't be here.
You shouldn't be here. I've let you into my home, given you coffee for
Coffee?
Pete's sake.
Coffee? You think coffee is enough excuse from never checking on your grandkid? Oh, you're quiet now? I have to put up with all this bullshit at home and all this bullshit at school, and now you're mixing the two together in a nice bullshit stew. Thanks a lot, Gramps. You've really given me the confidence and the gumption to walk out these doors a productive and appreciative citizen of ye old US of A.
Like a young lady like you shouldn't.
No, you said you don't know me. We're strangers, and I shouldn't look through strangers' mail. You're gonna need an address to send these to, by the way.
Sam hands the letters to Roger and starts to gather up her papers and backpack. Roger begins to shuffle through the letters.
I don't know Hank's address. I'm not even sure if he's still kicking around.
Sam stops packing up.
David's dead as far as I remember. Jasper lives a couple neighborhoods over. Just not sure where. These letters are more for me than they are for them. I shouldn't have talked to you like I did.
You did, though. And it's the same crap everywhere. I'm getting really tired of it.
The upstairs neighbors move something heavy across the floor. It sounds vaguely similar to the rocking of a ship.
What's the next question?
You're joking, right?
What do you mean?
You seriously think I'm going to keep doing this interview?
A man can't apologize in his own house and move on. I want to help.
You haven't even apologized. How am I?
Of course I apologize. Why wouldn't I apologize? I'm doing it now.
Saying the word apology doesn't make it an apology.
Well, I'm making an apology now.
Then say it.
What's the next question?
You are the most stubborn old man I've ever met.
Now you know where you get it from. Say thank you, Grandpa.
You want me to call you Grandpa?
Sorry, Samantha.
No problem, Roger. Question 8.
Thought we were on question 5.
I'm the one asking the questions around here, matey. Question 8. How has being in the Navy affected your life?
That's a tough one, Miss Sammy. I'll give a government answer and say it's improved my life without question.
I don't think that counts as an answer.
All right, girlie, give me an answer first and I'll give you mine. Does that work?
I want to know what I'm buying before I pay for it.
Fair enough. Question 10. Who is Samantha Clemenson?
Government answer or real answer?
Your choice.
My name is Sam Clemenson. I'm 16 years old and a sophomore at North Shore High School. I'm a pretty happy person with normal ups and downs. I live with my dad, you've heard of him, and we're doing okay by ourselves. I'm not in any after-school activities, but in class, I'm a pretty above-average student. I have a couple of close friends that I hang out with, and overall, I can't complain too much. I'm here to interview a veteran and maybe get to know a relative.
Roger reaches out his hand to Sam.
Sam, it's very good to meet you.
Roger shakes her hand.
We've already met.
Really? Just felt important to say again. Sylvia's probably rolling her eyes right now.
Who's Sylvia?
Daniel never mentioned his mother.
Oh, Grandma? He's talked a lot about her. He had a lot of stories about her.
And yet my name never bubbled up in a conversation.
Nope.
Throw me in a longboat.
What?
Oh, you know, leave me out to dry. Just an expression. You've never met Sylvia then, have you?
Not that I remember, but my dad said she did visit me when I was really little.
You've been graced by an angel.
She was really great, huh?
Better women do not exist next to Sylvia. She was my girl for decades. Still keeps me in line now.
Footsteps are heard upstairs from one edge of the room to the other.
I'm glad Daniel told you about her. Everyone can use a Sylvia in their lives, especially a build rat like me. What was your question again, Samantha?
If you love Sylvia so much, why stay away for so long?
This doesn't sound like an interview question.
I just want to understand why, even if you loved her, why did you go away?
Well, Sylvia and I had an understanding of each other. We got married very young, and I enlisted early in our marriage. World War II was wrapping up, although I didn't know it at the time, and I knew I needed to be able to provide for my new wife. And without a job in my lap, I needed the Navy to pad my empty wallet. So I joined the United States Navy. They paid me, not too badly either. I could provide the life I wanted for Sylvia and I. And after I came home the first time, Sylvia became pregnant with Daniel. I knew from word of mouth that babies were expensive, so I did what I did best and left Sylvia at home and went back to the Navy. I was able to provide and came home to meet my wife and a 2-year-old. I knew 2-year-olds needed money, so I went back to the Navy. So this continued for 20 years until I retired. Bad back. I loved Sylvia enough to leave, and I knew Daniel would thrive with her. After being in the Navy, I didn't trust myself with being a father. I had no experience. I knew I'd muck it up.
But why not try?
What teenager needs a father to start so late in the game? I didn't trust myself. I trusted Sylvia. Maybe it wasn't enough, but it was the choice I made.
Sam starts looking at her interview paper.
I think I got enough material for the interview assignment. I can just put uncomfortable for some questions and fill the rest in later.
Are you sure? I'm still willing to answer more questions that you have.
I'll be okay. You've already done so much by letting me in and everything. You don't have to answer any more questions.
Really? Then the torment is over.
Yeah, I guess so.
I guess so. Well, Samantha, I enjoyed this time we had together of
Hoping he would be cut off.
being together. Samantha, do I have to go for manners too? It's not nice to let a old man stumble over his words. You gotta interrupt sometimes.
This has been really nice.
I'm glad.
I just can't help thinking about going home after this and seeing my dad. And thank you, Roger, for the coffee and the stories. I just need to call my ride. Can I use your phone?
Sure. I've got the landline if you can work it. It's in the bedroom. Only door on your right.
Sam leaves the room. Roger remains seated on the couch still. The upstairs neighbors laugh loudly and push what sounds like a barrel from one end of the apartment to the other.
What would you do with a drunken sailor early in the morning?
Roger pats his chest and looks up towards the ceiling.
Should I do Sylvia?
Sam returns, wiping her face but smiles brightly at Roger.
All right, my ride is only like a couple minutes away, so I'll probably just wait outside.
Righty-tighty. Sounds like a plan, Stan.
Sam starts to put her things in her bag.
You're sure this person picking up is that close? I mean, you can wait inside if it's no trouble to you. It's none to me for certain.
I'll be okay. Thanks, though, Roger.
Of course. Maybe some food to go. I've got some tuna or peanut.
Okay, I'm fine.
Sam gets up to leave and crosses to the door.
What would you do with a drunken sailor? What would you do with a drunken sailor? What would you do with a drunken sailor early in the morning? Way up she rises, way up she rises, way
up she rises early in the morning. What is that? My dad used to sing that song for hours when I was younger. I used to ask him, what is that? And he'd say, what's what? And I'd say, that song you're singing. And he'd say, I was singing? I didn't notice.
That's a sailor's blood right there. That's a shanty me and my mates used to sing on the ships when we cleaned or trained to boost morale, cause a ruckus. I used to sing it in the house myself, drive Sylvia up the wall, especially when little Danny would join in.
Danny?
Yep, Daniel, I guess. But him singing that song is proof of a sailor's heart. Seems you've got one too.
A sailor's heart? I've never even been on a boat.
Never? Not even a ferry?
We have bridges nowadays. We don't need ferries.
I am taking you on a boat as soon as possible, Sammy. It'll be great. The salty spray, the wind in your hair. It's a hell of a time, I'll tell you.
I love that, Roger.
Grandpa, please.
Sam and Roger smile at each other.
I'm sure my ride's here by now, so I gotta go. I'll come back again soon to do a follow-up interview. Maybe give you a call?
Yeah, of course. Let me find my number around here somewhere.
Oh, I've already got it.
Roger looks at her confused.
Facebook.
Of course. Well, please give me a call. You'd be the first one on that thing not selling something to me in years.
All right. I'll see you later, Grandpa.
See you too, Sammy.
Sam leaves out the front door with a big grin on her face. Roger sits down on the couch, also smiling a big smile.
How about that? Way up she rises, way up she rises, way up she rises early in the morning.
Lights out. End of play.
Hi, my name is Aaron Sparks, the writer and director of You Beautiful Boys, You Beautiful Girls and Boys, the next play you're about to see. This play is based on 2 songs by the band Clem Snide. You should definitely check them out. I'm so excited to share this play and the work of this fantastic cast with you. Thank you all for being here. And without further ado, you beautiful American girls and boys.
You Beautiful American Girls and Boys by Aaron Sparks. Based on I Love the Unknown and I Got High by Clem Snide. Lyrics by Eve Barsley. Cast of characters Tom, Jess, Phil, Dad, and Dr. Gilman. Scene 1. Lights up. A restaurant in uptown Normal, Illinois. Jess sits at a table alone. She is waiting for someone. She may have been waiting quite a while. Patience is wearing thin. After a spell, Tom enters, half looking for Jess and half not sure he wants to find her. He spots her, and before there is time for any other decision to be made, Jess sees Tom. A brief moment of eye contact is shared before he heads to the table.
Overturned milk truck?
What?
Overturned milk truck? Fire at the office. Mugged by a roving gang of circus clowns. You were supposed to be here 45 minutes ago. Just wondering what the holdup was.
Clowns is the appropriate answer, right? I'll go with C. Clowns. C for clowns. Tell me what I've won, Bob. For the record, I was going to volunteer the clown excuse before you even brought it up as an option.
I've got shit to do too. I know you're the chill one, but it's not fair to make me the bad guy. 10, 15 minutes. Chalk that up to traffic or having to go back to get your keys, but you're pushing an hour here.
No, you're right. I'm sorry. Would it be better if I lost my keys in traffic? If we were someplace with serious traffic like Chicago, we'd probably be late all the time. Like, both of us would. Probably all the time.
Guess it's a good thing we're not in Chicago then.
Yeah, I guess it is. Totally.
For the record, if we were there or anywhere else, I would still be on time.
True story. Totally right. I don't have a good excuse. I just aggressively flaked. I'm sorry.
You are extremely lucky that you're cute and that I have the patience of several saints.
Jess kisses Tom.
I am lucky. I am. No, I am.
Yes, you most certainly are.
Most certainly.
Most certainly.
Most absolutely.
You okay?
Yes. Yes. Good. Very good. Right as rain.
Good. So when my parents are here this weekend, they want to take us to Bed Bath & Beyond to get me curtains or something, shower, window, really any type of curtain. I think they're probably just thinking that even entering the store will put visions of registrations in our heads. My folks are not the most settled people on the planet, as you know, so I want to prep you for the very obvious, it would be so nice to have an announcement for the family before Thanksgiving. Wink, wink, cough, hard elbow to the ribs. With that said, I wouldn't mind a new shower curtain, so it seems like a torture worth enduring. At least if you're there with me to help absorb the blows.
Curtains. Cool.
I appreciate you hanging out. I know the parents thing is not exactly relaxing weekend time. And it's not every boyfriend who would be willing to go to Bed Bath & Beyond with his girlfriend and her parents to buy a drawer organizer for all of her sex toys.
I'm sorry, what?
You're on another planet right now. What's up?
Yeah. So, I can't go.
To Bed Bath & Beyond? Okay. I mean, I guess you can just meet us at the restaurant later. I was kind of hoping you'd be there for reinforcements, but not the end of the world. Although you would forgo any veto options on potential shower curtains, so don't be too surprised if we end up with horses or a big fucking peacock on it.
I can't go at all. Toiletry shopping, fancy dinner, walk around doing manor, brunch, the whole thing. I'm going to see some bands in Champaign this weekend. So I can't go.
You can't. Since when? My parents are coming in from Moline. This has been planned for like a month and a half. Were you planning on telling me about this concert? How long have you known about this little scheduling conflict?
I just found out. I was talking with Jill and Perry at the bar here. They told me about this show. They're driving down and they have a friend's place they're crashing at. This band never plays out here. I've never even seen this type of show before. So, I can't pass that up.
A band? We're about to move in together. My parents are coming into town to help us embark on our life together. And you're telling me you're going to see a band with Jill and Perry? Who the fuck are Jill and Perry?
Well, I just met them at the bar before I came over to the table. But they seemed super nice, totally generous vibes, and they invited me.
At the bar? The bar at this restaurant? I was sitting here waiting for you with my thumb up my ass, and you were making life plans with a random couple of generous vibes that you met at the bar?
No, I'm not making life plans. That's the whole point. That's the entire fucking point. They're not life plans. You, me, your parents, retail shopping. I know where this whole thing is supposed to go, and I'm not sure I want my life mapped out for me without my consent. Maybe I don't want to stay here forever in this job, this apartment. Maybe I might still move to Chicago.
Tom, I love you, babe, but you have been talking about Chicago since we graduated college. If it was supposed to happen, it would have happened already, and it's fine that it didn't. It's fine. Not everyone is meant for the big city. Our life is pretty good.
I'm going to go to Chicago. Probably soon. Definitely soon.
How many times have we had this conversation? We are together, and I don't want to live in Chicago. Why would we go to Chicago when our life is here? Your job is here, our friends are here, your parents are here. We're not moving to Chicago.
Well, I am. Just like I'm going with Jill and Perry to this concert.
Jill and Perry.
I don't have to take a tone about it.
We love each other. We made these plans. You and me. We made these plans. So I'm a little confused. Are you talking about a weekend with my parents? I can make an excuse to get you out of that. Or are you talking about us living together?
Tom stares at his shoes.
Oh. You're talking about us being together at all. You can tell me that's not what you're saying at any time. Please. Say you're having a panic attack. Say you got attacked by a gang of fucking clowns and you're not feeling like yourself. Say something.
I'm sorry.
Don't say that. Please do not say that.
I'm sorry. My life cannot be settled. I love you, but my life can't be settled. So I'm going to unsettle it. I'm going to spend the weekend with Jill and Perry, and when I get back, I'm going to stay at my folks' place until I can figure out a way to not be here in Normal, Illinois. I need something new, something unknown. Things have been known my whole life, it feels like. If I don't figure out a way to change that, I think I'm fucked. I didn't love you. I would have done this a lot sooner.
You would have gone to see a band in the next college town over with a couple of strangers? You would have done that sooner, huh? Okay. Well, you enjoy all that unknown in your childhood bedroom at your parents' house.
I'm sorry.
Fuck you.
Jess walks out of the restaurant, leaving Tom alone, sitting at the table. He takes a drink of water. Scene 2. Tom and Phil sit in the waiting area of Uptown Station, looking at a monitor of bus departure times. They each have multiple tall boys in brown paper bags. Tom cracks open one of the cans. Phil is not so bold.
Odds or evens?
Pick one yourself. I hate this game.
That would defeat the whole purpose of this enterprise. Odds or evens.
Can you chill with that for a second? I don't want to get kicked out of the station.
Chill with what? I'm just enjoying my Saturday afternoon.
Just pick a bus, dude. This is your thing anyway.
Defeats the whole fucking purpose. Odds or evens.
You have this grand plan for the day, but if you don't know which bus we're getting on, how do you even know where we're getting off the bus, smart guy?
Man, you're jumping.
We haven't done this since college, and do you remember what happened the last time?
Strangely, I do not fully recall.
Well, we ended up in the dodgiest part of Bloomington at 3 in the morning with no way to get home. We had to call my little sister to pick us up. Ring any bells?
I'm supposed to say yes, right?
Then you puked in my dad's minivan. I still get shit from my sister about that. Plus, she probably couldn't pick us up tonight anyway on account of my nephew. I still can't believe I let you talk me into this shit. I have to open the restaurant tomorrow morning.
But we haven't done this in so long. Let's have ourselves a time. Ditch work tomorrow. Do it.
Come on. You know I can't.
Do it. Your nephew won't mind. He is one chill 2-year-old.
He is pretty fucking chill for a toddler.
What I'm saying. And that shit was fun.
It was fun.
And only a little dangerous. We'll make it home. The earth is round, ain't it?
Hey man, this is normal Illinois. Earth is flat, at least around here. Listen, I showed up despite my better judgment, but I can't skip work. I don't have that State Farm money rolling in like you. Plus, you know I'm the manager.
The insurance game is no pleasure cruise. Plus, I'm not going to be there for long. I'll be in Chicago soon. What?
Nothing. I just thought you'd move past that shit. And you got that cash rolling in, not paying rent right now because you're back staying with your folks. Newly eligible bachelor about to wreck the scene in McLean County. What do you need Chicago for? Also, dude, you've been about to move to Chicago for like 8 years now, so...
Shut the fuck up, man. I'm going. I'm going to go. I'm going.
Oh, sure. No, I know you are.
You don't all have the stellar life that you do. You're the one living the dream.
Living the dream? What are you even talking about?
All the gyros, heroes, whatever you can eat. Surrounded by co-eds all the time.
You kidding me? The only time I am an object of interest for any co-ed is if somebody wants me to buy booze, and that hardly happens anymore since everyone knows when the kid who doesn't check IDs is working at the 707. Plus, you been to a party with college kids lately? I have. They look at me like I'm a Bible salesman.
What are you talking about? You're the boss man. You probably have your pick. Now that I'm a free agent again, I might even start hanging there myself.
Wow, that's really gross. I manage a sandwich shop. I've only worked at a sandwich shop for 7 years. The only people who are older than me who work there are the owner's family. You're the one with the good job who until recently had the hot girlfriend. Yeah, my life is so fucking great.
Hey man, if you don't want to be here, leave your beers and I'll have my adventure myself. I am tied down to my job 5 days a week, but I have my social life back for the first time in forever. And I thought we could, hang out like we used to. Pardon me for wanting to do something cool again. Shit.
Hey, I didn't mean to... I know that things are...
A long pause.
Evens.
What?
I said, evens.
Yeah?
Tom looks at Cole, then at the departure board.
Lime root, no takebacks, it's on, motherfucker!
Tom cracks his second beer. Phil cracks one of his beers. He takes a big swig. Scene 3. Employee break room at the State Farm corporate office. Tom sits at a table, contemplating his sandwich and his place in the universe. He would rather be almost anywhere other than here. After a moment, Dad steps into the break room. He is beaming with pride. Tom does not see Dad until Dad speaks.
Fella could get used to this.
Shit. Maybe don't sneak up on a fella, just in that case.
I'm looking at the future of the American workforce sitting right in front of me. It is hard to contain my enthusiasm in the face of that. Oh, and probably best to avoid the SHIT talk at work.
Thank you for that helpful HINT. You old-timers are always a fount of useful information. Now, if you don't mind, I have a turkey sandwich that is in desperate need of attention before my lunch break is over.
But it is a little exciting, right?
Seriously?
It wouldn't kill you to indulge an old-timer like yours truly.
It might.
It won't.
Could.
It's one of my great joys in life these days. Be a sport.
Someone could walk in any moment.
A risk we'll have to take.
We really doing this?
It's here, right at your desk. Your choice.
Fine. Work time is hug time when your office is family.
Dad holds his arms out and stares at Tom. Tom stares back. He does not move. Dad extends his arms more emphatically. Finally, Tom goes over to Dad. The embrace is as warm on Dad's part as it is lackluster on Tom's part.
I'd say this is a worthwhile endeavor.
We can't do this every day. I've been working
Don't
here
spoil
for
the moment.
3 months. Dad, enough.
Well, someone's a spoil sport.
Really? How long will this be a daily occurrence?
Most likely, I'll retire up to 5 to 7 years. I don't know how that breaks up into days. Look, aren't I allowed to be excited that I get to go into the office with my son every day? Every father I know would love the opportunity that we have with each other. I'm proud. You're making real money at a company you might spend your entire career at. It's not like you bagging groceries when you were in high school or being a waiter at Chili's. This is a career. You have a good paying career, and maybe one day you can get your own place again. Your mom does want her meditation room back.
You've worked here for 31 years.
Yeah, I can't imagine not being here. I didn't even have a daily hug to look forward to until 3 months ago.
This won't work. It won't work. It doesn't work.
The hugs? You know I wouldn't actually do that in the middle of the office. I might threaten, but I do have a modicum of decorum. Plus, the rest of the claim associates might get jealous.
I quit.
Pardon?
I quit.
You can't quit. I cannot tender your resignation. I'm not even your direct supervisor. Against company policy, guess you're stuck here.
You probably aren't going to want to talk to HR about hiring a new employee. This was never going to be long term. I'm going to be in Chicago. Could be any day now. So.
Is this our monthly Chicago conversation? You skipped a few months, so I just thought they might have been over. I guess that could be because you weren't living at the house until recently.
Once I'm sorted, I'm going to go. Monthly? I mean, maybe periodically or like occasionally.
Almost like clockwork since you were about 15. Your mom ticks them off on the side of her journal. We know that when we get 6 of them, it's about time to change the battery on the smoke detector.
Yeah. So I'm gonna leave the building right now.
What are you... Why?
31 years.
I don't think I follow.
My life will not be dictated for 31 years. I will not do it. It's not going to happen.
Look, I know the breakup hit you harder than you admitted, but this is nonsense. This is unacceptable.
Not really up to you.
Hey, I know this isn't fancy, but if you think you're too good for this place, you are wrong. This place kept you and your sister fed and clothed and paid for you to go to college. Good people work here.
I probably wouldn't fit in.
That's not what I meant. You're twisting my... I don't understand.
Sandwich, same people, Same exact thing every damn day. Let's just say I need a little mystery in my life. If you think this is what I need, you may be confusing me with a more manageable, conforming son. But hey, I'm sure one of the other Plains associates would appreciate some hug time.
Maybe this isn't a good fit for you, working a couple floors away from your dad. I get that. Your Uncle John is always looking for folks in the office at the beer nuts factory. That might,
No. You just... I can't. I gotta go.
Tom exits. Dad stares at the half-eaten turkey sandwich on the table. He sits stunned. Scene 4. Tom sits on an exam table in a doctor's office. The decor makes it clear that this is a pediatrician's office. Tom has been waiting for a long time, and he periodically shifts uncomfortably. He has a black eye. After a long while, Dr. Gelman walks in, looking down at a chart. He wears a lab coat and has a clip-on Kermit the Frog on his stethoscope. He addresses Tom without looking up. Tom looks down to hide his black eye.
Haven't seen you in a minute, kiddo. Glad to see you haven't fallen off the edge of the universe. What can I do you for today?
Well, it's just,
Dr.
What
Gelman...
the fuck happened to you?
That's kind of strong language for someone in your line of work.
You're about a dozen years older than my oldest patient, so I think I've earned some leeway there. By the way, you really should have a GP who serves adults. But I repeat, what the fuck happened to you?
It's a little cloudy. There were a few drinks involved.
No shit.
So there were a few drinks involved. I recall a pretty girl. That part of the evening was quite pleasant. She's about to finish cosmetology school. Turns out we know some folks in common.
Non-essential information.
Anyway, really nice connection. I mean, for the both of us. Her fiancé did not share the same perspective.
So you're an idiot.
In not so many words.
Not so much I can do for a black eye sport.
I mean, you know my mom. She would not let up until I agreed to see a doctor. She's a worrier. I sort of also may have fallen down the stairs at the house later that night. I may have, hypothetically, hit the wee old noggin ever so slightly. Really more of a love tap. I'm fine.
Dr. Gelman sighs, then begins a basic exam.
It's really, truly not a big deal. I'm not sure anything. Reasonably sure. Just here to appease Mom, and you're the only doctor I know, so, you know how it goes.
What the hell are you doing?
Excuse me?
You've been on a fucking tear lately. What are you doing?
You know you've been a doctor for a long time, but I don't think that gives you the right to... Cold!
Dr. Gelman places the stethoscope on Tom's back under his shirt.
Shit! Give the guy some warning before you...
Breathe in and exhale.
Very funny. But you don't have the...
Dr. Gelman moves his stethoscope to another part of Tom's back.
And inhale. Known you since you were born and your dad a lot longer than that. And let it out. Your folks are worried about you. Your dad is too nice to say anything to you. Breathe in. I'm not. You've been acting like an asshole lately. Exhale. I know you're not an asshole. At least you weren't always. Breathing sounds good.
I quit a job. That doesn't make me an asshole.
Follow the light with your eyes. Absolutely right. Your methodology did that.
Very much appreciate the concern, but no. Oh, great. So he told you what a mess I am. Just spreading my business all over town.
Dr. Gelman takes a tongue depressor from a jar.
He's not, actually. You seem to be handling that well enough on your own. He's my friend, and he's worried about you. Your mom, too.
Very much appreciate the concern, but...
They are.
Dr. Gelman places the tongue depressor on Tom's tongue and looks at his tonsils with a scope.
Pardon?
Dr. Gelman looks for a moment longer, then removes the tongue depressor.
My dad and I are fine. My dad is fine. I'm fine. He and I are fine.
Methinks the lady doth protest too much.
Tom stares at Dr. Gelman.
What the fuck are you talking about?
It's from it because you know what? Never mind.
God, you have an idea of what my life is supposed to be just like everyone else. I'm supposed to stay here in normal fucking Illinois. I'm supposed to work at State Farm. I'm supposed to marry Jess.
A steady income and a beautiful woman who puts up with you? That sounds pretty great to me. What exactly are you running away from again?
You don't actually know what my life is. Maybe I want to move to Chicago. Maybe I want to make my own decisions for once. Maybe just something different. I am so tired of everyone telling me that I'm supposed to be perfectly satisfied with my life, the way my mom and dad think it should be, or the way that Jess thinks it should be, or for fuck's sake, the way that you think it should be, my goddamn pediatrician.
Move to Chicago.
What?
Move to Chicago. What sounds nice to a twice-divorced pediatrician may not be your cup of tea. I get that. So move.
You say it like it's so easy.
Practically half of the people born here are in Chicago. It's 2.5 hours away. You're not poor. Go.
I can't just leave like that. They won't say it, but my parents need me here. My sister, plus I don't have a job there, and I don't know if you've read the newspaper lately, but it's not exactly safe.
If you want to go, go. Chicago, St. Louis, New York, Toledo, Ohio, wherever. Make a change if you want to make a change. None of those things are reasons to stay here. As long as you don't hit your head again for the next 6 to 12 months, you can do whatever the hell you want. It kind of sounds like you don't want to go.
I do want to go. I will go. I'm going. But I can't just pick up and get out of Dodge. You say it like it's so easy. I have affairs to get in order, ducks to get in a row. It's not that easy.
So do it. Your parents will be fine. Order your affairs, line up your ducks. Or don't. It could actually be that easy. Go.
I don't know. You know?
I think I do.
Exactly. Right.
Right. Go.
But
Blackout. End of play.
I'm muted. Sorry. Hi, I'm Miranda Martinez, and I directed the next piece by Jesse David Hernandez, Who Chopped Down the Cherry Tree, Me, An American Tale of George Washington. And as Jesse says, George Washington could never tell a lie. At least, that's how the story goes. Cast of characters. George, a boy, early teens. Mrs. Washington, a motherly figure, late 20s, early 30s. Thomas, questionable at most, early teens. Mr. Walker, a grouch, mid-30s. Prince William can be double cast as Mr. Walker. John can be double cast as Thomas, Frog. Ribbit, Mime can be double cast as Frog. Scene 1. Lights rise on Johnny, a boy in his teens, and William, a boy in his 20s, standing on the stage facing each other in a confrontational manner. Mrs. Washington, a woman in her late 20s, early 30s, and her voice is heard from off stage. She speaks in a motherly tone.
Now, Johnny was given a chance to come out with it.
Okay, now, Johnny, this is your last chance. Did you steal the pie sitting on my wife's windowsill?
But Johnny was not a good boy. George Washington, are you listening?
George Washington, a young boy around 10 to 12, speaks.
George Washington, are you listening?
Mom, I'm tired of listening to these kids' stories again. I want to hear about England and the stinky French.
Now, George, that's not nice. But if it will make you happy...
Johnny picks up a beret and places it on his head. Williams puts on a red coat.
Now, young Jean Foudriat and Prince William faced each other with baguettes.
Johnny and William both catch baguettes thrown to them from the wings and point them at each other like a sword.
Whoa!
Foudriat spoke.
Wouldn't I? I would lie to you, Englishmen.
But Jean was lying. What he didn't know was right behind him, a mime was walking out holding Prince William's pie.
A mime wearing a black and white striped shirt, black pants, and a beret walks on holding a pie.
The prince was infuriated.
Then how do you explain that?
John turns to see the mime.
Oh, it's a gift?
The mime slams the pie in John's face.
Oh, I know what that is. That is my wife's famous apple pie.
William gets a bit more threatening with his baguette.
Oh, all right, you've got me. I've just heard so much about your wife's pie making. I wanted to try a piece.
But the prince lowers his weapon, and his heart softens. Do you know why, Georgie?
Mrs. Washington walks George onto the stage.
Because Jean told the truth.
That's right.
Mime leads all mime life. William speaks softer as he goes into a teaching lesson. George and Miss Washington watch.
Well, you know, Jean, you don't have to steal pies off of windowsills to have a slice. That pie was placed there to cool. You could have burned your tongue.
That's true.
You know what you should have done? Asked. And told the truth. Or else, I would have stabbed you through with this here baguette. I'm more than happy to share a slice to anyone who's around. Why don't you come over tomorrow? I think the princess will have a surprise waiting for you.
Whoa! Thanks, Prince William!
William and John exit together in a cheerful skip.
And they all lived happily ever after. The end. So, Georgie, anything on your mind?
Maybe. Thomas and I won't steal your pies again, Mom.
Well, but the other part. What do you say about the lying part?
But what if I get in trouble and I have to lie?
There will never come a time that you have to lie. It is a choice, and never the only option. Now, go and rest your eyes. Good night.
George lays down and turns over to rest. Scene 2. Lights change as night turns into day. The set is revolved. The moon turns over to the sun. A window is set next to George as he sleeps. The window opens wide with the sun shining through. Thomas, a boy around George's age, struggles to crawl through it.
George!
Thomas struggles more and can't quite get his footing. George is still sound asleep.
George!
George jumps awake and after seeing his pal, rushes to his aid.
Thomas, why are you climbing the side of the house?
Dramatic entrance.
Oh.
So, you up? I found this really good place to catch frogs. I bet you I can catch more than you.
Why don't you go next door and bother Mr. Walker? Get him to chase you around the orchard again and leave me to sleep. How long have you been up anyways? What is it? 8?
Too late to be sleeping on a good frog catching day. And I haven't seen him out today. Come on! Whoever loses has to lick him.
No, not after last time. That got really weird.
George, are you up?
Yes, Mom.
Come on downstairs. Breakfast is ready.
Can Thomas stay for breakfast?
Stay?
George and Thomas rush downstairs to the kitchen where Mrs. Washington is finishing setting up the extra seat at the table.
Oh, Thomas, I didn't expect you to be this early.
Well, what can I say, Mrs. Washington? I can never get enough of your cooking. Although next time you make an apple pie, easy on the... Ow! Ah!
Rashers, Georgie?
As I was saying, there's a Knife Creek off the Potomac I found where there's a bunch of frogs. I mean dozens.
Bet you can't catch 4.
Can too.
Cannot.
Can too.
Cannot.
Now, boys. Bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for a beautiful day. Thank you for our food. We pray for Mr. Walker in these hard times and rest to Mary's soul. Bless them, this food, and our King. In Jesus' name, amen.
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 So,
They begin eating their meals.
if you're going to the river, wear your boots and bring gloves. Oh, Georgie, I need you to cut some wood.
Miss Washington, what happened to Mrs. Walker?
The 2 boys wait eagerly.
Well, dear, it seems we've lost one of our own.
Oh. If she's lost, we can find her, isn't that right?
Thomas, I don't think it's that kind of lost. It's a gone forever lost.
I'm afraid so. Mary and Clarence went to town a few days ago to get some supplies. On the way there, though, Mary fell off the wagon. She's been at the hospital for a few days, but I'm afraid she passed away just yesterday.
Is there anything we can do to help?
That's awfully kind, Thomas, but only time will help. But I'm going to get started on a pie to send over. No one needs to be alone while they grieve. In the meantime, Georgie, if you could chop some wood for the heater.
She picks up their plates.
You 2 are dismissed. And George, chop them thinner this time. Last time took most of the coals to get the fire started.
Yes, ma'am.
Mrs. Washington exits, and George and Thomas move outside to the chopping block. As they set up their station, they look across the yard to see a funeral in Mr. Walker's orchard.
Is that her?
Onto the stage, a wood coffin is carried in by a few individuals. Clarence Walker, a man in his late 20s, is following them. He looks disheveled and not entirely aware.
There's Mr. Walker.
George sets himself up and starts to chop some wood. Clarence and the 4 people stop before a deep hole in the orchard and place the coffin on the ground. George stops what he's doing and the 2 boys look to the funeral. Clarence steps up to the coffin and falls upon it before one of the 4 men comes to comfort them. Clarence gets up and stands to watch the 4 individuals pick up and lower the coffin into the ground. All 5 of them together grab shovels and start to fill in the hole. Thomas and George go back to chopping when Mr. Walker catches their eye again. Mr. Walker runs quickly off stage for a while the others continue.
What is he doing?
When Mr. Walker rushes back on, he has a fully grown blooming cherry tree in his hand and rushes to place it on top of the dirt hole. They all help to plant it.
She always did love the cherry trees.
Yeah.
George then goes back to chopping the wood as the people finish filling in the hole. Clarence is left staring at the blooming tree as George cuts wood and Thomas watches. A few moments pass, and with a few chops, Mr. Walker is distracted by the noise of the wood splitting and looks over to the boys. George readies another piece.
George.
George looks to Mr. Walker, staring at the boys with a blank look. George waits a moment before giving a wave to Mr. Walker. Mr. Walker leaves irritably.
Well, that was odd.
At least.
George piles the pieces of wood next to the back door while Thomas still watches the tree.
I think that's enough for today.
I've never seen him that mad. And I make it my art to make him mad.
Mom says different people take grief differently.
George heads inside.
Yeah, I guess so.
Thomas follows back into the kitchen where Mrs. Washington is cooling her pie.
Will you boys come with?
Sorry, I have frogs to catch, but you 2 have fun.
Thomas exits out the window.
Ow!
Mrs. Washington packs the pie up and puts her hood on while George gets his shoes on.
And we're off.
Scene 3. Scene changes as Mrs. Washington and George goes to Mr. Walker's house. They approach the front door that is decorated with a wreath. There are care packages all over it. Mrs. Washington knocks. The 2 wait. After a while, Mrs. Washington knocks again.
He must not be home.
He is. I saw him in the orchard.
Clarence, are you in? George and I have brought you a gift. Hello? Clarence? May we come in?
Just leave it with the others.
Mr. Walker looks at both of them and slams the door in their face.
Well, that wasn't very nice.
Maybe we should give him some time.
No. No one should grieve alone. Come on.
Mrs. Washington walks off the porch with determination. She takes a second to think. Mrs. Washington moves around the home with George following close behind. Mr. Walker is on the back porch looking out into the cherry orchard.
Clarence, may we keep you company?
Mr. Walker continues to ignore them.
We're sorry for what has happened.
Thank you. Now would you please leave?
Not until you've had a slice. I'll cut you one. It will only take a second.
I'm doing just fine. I don't need any. Just go home and leave me alone.
Mr. Walker takes a sip of something strong.
Clarence, you need to talk about things.
What's there to talk about? Mary's dead. And thanks for reminding me, like I wasn't aware of that fact.
Yes, and we give our condolences. Whatever you need. We're just across the way. In the meantime...
Oh, save it. Just get the hell out of here. Would you just get the hell out of here?
Excuse me?
Hush, woman.
No,
I've been getting this all day. I don't need a pastor. I don't need someone to talk to. I need peace and quiet, Mary. Listen to your mother, Georgie, or else. In fact, go ahead. Lord knows how much I would love that. Chopping wood at my wife's funeral. What the hell's the matter with your kid?
Child?
Just because his daddy's gone doesn't mean he has to act like a bastard, too.
What makes you think you can treat us this way?
A moment.
My wife is dead. I watched her body fling from the wagon into the water of the Potomac. I heard her screams as she was falling, and I heard them stop as she hit the boulder just below the water's surface. Do you know she didn't even want to go to town? But she came with me because I had a whole night planned out. My own wife's death is my fault. So no, I'm not sorry for how I'm treating you. If you would get the hell off my property, I would appreciate the peace and quiet while I get the privilege to relive this memory over and over again.
Clarence.
Mary?
Mr. Walker tries to forget that they're there. Mrs. Washington pauses, then turns to leave when George grabs the pie from her bag.
George!
George runs to place the pie on the steps of Mr. Walker's porch.
Boy.
I know. You don't need it.
Mrs. Washington grabs the locket around her neck and takes a moment to look at it. After, she gets a second wind and marches back to Mr. Walker.
Oh, for God's sake, just leave it.
Do you remember this?
Should I?
You're really that blind. Who gave me this necklace, Clarence?
Oh.
And when?
She did. When August passed. Why are you showing me this?
You two were there. You two took care of George when I couldn't bear to. And you took care of me when I couldn't understand. So, if anyone knows anything about how you're feeling right now, it is me. And I'm telling you, you aren't alone. And you need to let your demons out.
Mr. Walker stands to get close to Mrs. Washington.
I'm just about done with this. I don't need you telling me what I need. I don't need your boy harassing me. I certainly don't need a stinking pie. What I need, Mrs. Washington, is for you and your boy to get the hell off my property. This is your last warning.
Robust silence.
I guess there is one difference between our situations. I had a child to take care of. I had family. I wasn't some bitter man wasting away feeling sorry about himself because he can't get over the fact that his wife is...
Mr. Walker raises a hand and strikes Mrs. Washington.
No!
Don't dare.
A moment of silence passes and Mr. Walker turns to go inside and closes the door behind him. Mrs. Washington stands stunned, and so does George. Mrs. Washington starts back off to their home with George behind. Silence is their music and tempo. Once they get back to the porch...
What do we do?
Nothing.
Mrs. Washington exits into the house. Scene 4. Once a moment has passed, Thomas comes around the corner with the house with 2 frogs, one held in each hand.
There you are. Hey, check it out. 2 for 2. So how's Grumpy Puss doing?
He hit my mom.
What? That old piece of day-old chicken. What did you do?
What do you mean?
Well, if I were you, I'd give him the old 1-2, you know?
Ribbit!
Sorry, Frank.
Thomas puts Frank and Rachel down.
Yeah, I would have shown him what's for.
I didn't do anything. I just stood there like a child.
Whoa. Well, don't beat yourself up about it. You'll get your chance. What are you gonna do?
Not sure. I want to do something that will make him regret every word.
George goes to exit but stops.
Hey, I need to know the worst prank you ever pulled on Mr. Clarence.
Oh, I like where your head's at. Once, I put frogs in his bed before he went in for the night. He was running all around away from those bad boys for hours.
That's good, but I need more.
How much more, George? I've been keeping a lot of masterpieces in mind. Okay, picture this. Say Mr. Walker is in his orchard, minding his own, when out of nowhere...
A person dressed as a giant frog comes out and starts to hunt Walker.
Wham! A giant frog from the swamplands of Louisiana comes running after him.
Where are we going to get a giant frog, Thomas?
All right. Those don't exist.
The frog exits, leaving Mr. Walker terrified.
What about changing his drink for river water?
No, more, Thomas, more.
Okay. How about we write him a strongly worded letter stating that we are tired of the way he is treating us and we must declare independence from the tyranny that he has laid in our land.
You won't do that for another 30 years.
Oh.
I'm going to cut down her cherry tree.
What do you mean, her cherry tree? Like, you don't mean...
Yeah, I do.
George, that's wrong. I wouldn't even...
He deserves this, Thomas. No one can...
We can do anything else, but that's off limits.
Are you telling me he doesn't deserve it?
I'm trying to tell you that it's not right. It isn't a matter of whether he deserves it.
Thomas,
George, we're not.
I need to make him suffer, Thomas. Do you have anything that can make him suffer?
So, I've been catching a bunch of frogs lately. Just after midnight, I'll let him loose into his house.
Whatever. That's fine.
Yes! I've been training for this day. Wow, look at the time. I should really get started. Do you have anything that can hold about a dozen frogs?
On the porch.
Aye, aye, General.
George stands there for a moment. He looks towards Mr. Walker's house and notices Mrs. Washington's pie on the ground, kicked away and in the dirt. George is disgusted. He turns back and exits. Scene 5. The night is dark. The wind blows. The sky is cloudy. George comes out from his back porch. He picks up the axe next to the door and starts out. He crosses a field between the two homes. Once on the other side, he hears struggles of someone carrying something heavy. He sees Thomas attempting to lug the bushel of frogs over to Mr. Walker's house.
Dang it. I knew George would chicken out. Asleep on a night like this. He could have, at the very least, left a note.
Rabbit! Thomas continues to struggle, and George kneels down to hide from Thomas's sight.
I know, Rachel, I know. And here I was spending countless hours catching each and every one of you.
Rabbit!
Frank, you are absolutely right. Mom's probably worried sick, and the thanks I get, well, it'll be a pleasure to ruin Mr. Walker's night anyway.
Rabbit!
Language!
Thomas makes it to the door and cracks it open to let the frogs in. Meanwhile, George moves his way to the cherry tree. Thunder starts to roll. As soon as George gets to the tree, he wastes no time. He hacks again and again as the thunder drowns out the sound of the hits. Thomas starts to head out when he hears the strikes of the tree. He runs over to find George placing his final blow.
George!
The tree topples. George's exhaustion ensues.
We need to go.
Mr. Walker's front door slams open. Walker appears with a gun, cocked.
Get up, George. Up. Now. Come on, please.
George is stunned, on the ground, exhausted. Mr. Walker moseys over to where George is. Thomas runs off, leaving George behind.
George! George, where are you?
Mr. Walker makes it to George and they lock eyes. Mr. Walker picks George up from the ground.
I will ask you this only once, boy. Did you chop down this cherry tree?
No.
Before George finishes his word, Mr. Walker fires his pistol. Blackout. End of play. Or is it?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here at the show. My name is Sydney Quans. I am the director and playwright of the next piece, which is called Passport to Purity, which was based off of a curriculum book I was walked through at the age of 13 that a lot of people experienced, and so I wanted to kind of create an adaptation or a response to it. My cast is the lovely Grace Hickey, David Rich, Jesse Hernandez, Manali Sankara, Kelly Duca, and Tyler LeBlancs. So enjoy their work. Quick shout out to Reagan Bachman and Laura Kate Carlock. Could not have written this play without them. If you have any thoughts about the show, if you want to talk about it, please hit me up. This is something I've written to open up discussion, so I'm excited about that possibility. Enjoy the show.
Passport to Purity, written by Sydney Quans. Inspired by Passport to Purity, written by Barbara and Dennis Rainey. Cast of character: Leaky Balloon, Enneagram 1, Crusader, Team Captain. Snickers Bar, Enneagram 7, Shit Starter, Reluctant Participant. Wasted Candle, Enneagram 9, Party Mom, Serves the Greater Good. Trampled Flower, Enneagram 6, Ineffective Helper, Soft Heart. Dirty Water, Enneagram 8, Defender, Fact Checker. House opens. Leaky Balloon is in the house and on stage, which is simply decorated for an assembly with one table. She's buzzing like a bee, ushering people into the space. Leaky Balloon should interact with the crowd, welcome them into the space, and instruct them to sit.
Welcome, everyone. Please come in and have a seat. Oh, hello there. Come on in. No, please don't be shy. Sit in the front row. I promise you the show is better from front and center. Hey there, are you two a couple? That's very sweet. I think this presentation might be especially helpful for you. Don't forget, conviction is a good thing, even if it's hard. I am so glad to see somebody is being brought up right. You will thank your parents one day for teaching you morals so early.
Once the house has settled and closed, Leaky Balloon formally takes the stage.
Hello, thanks for coming. We will get started shortly. We're just waiting on some team members. All the team members. In the meantime, please get to know the person next to you. You can think of this presentation as a dialogue, a discussion. We want to hear from you as much as you want to hear from us. So go ahead. Ask the person next to you what they think about love and intimacy in the confines of a God-fearing relationship. Whenever you are ready. 1, 2, 3, cue discussion.
Leaky Balloon should ad-lib until the audience begins to talk to each other. She then gets nervous, makes a phone call, perhaps keeps looking at the door. She can ask an audience member if they have seen one of her team members. After a moment, she addresses the audience again.
Okay, then, we're just going to go ahead and start. I'm sure that our other friends will join us when the time suits them. Thank you for coming. This weekend, we are going to teach you how to guard your heart, guard your mind, honor your parents, honor your future spouse.
Snickers Bar barges in with a box of donuts.
Good morning.
He swoops in to kiss Leaky Balloon. Leaky Balloon dodges the kiss, so Snickers Bar ends up planting it on her cheek. He looks at her puzzled, then notices the audience.
Hey there.
Leaky Balloon looks at him, scathing.
What are you talking about?
I'm doing the presentation.
Already? I'll jump right in then. Where were we? What are you waiting for?
Your apology?
Oh, right. I am so sorry.
Thank you.
What for this time?
You are impossible.
Do you want a donut?
No, thank you.
Oh, what about you?
Sure. I'm leaving you.
She's joking.
Leaky Balloon storms out of the room.
I think. What am I supposed to do?
The presentation, dumbass. I'm going to look for the others.
Snickers bar eats an entire donut.
You know what I did? Any of you? Do any of you know what I did?
You were late?
If this is what you call late, I'm like, what? The presentation doesn't start until like 6:30. I'm like 4 minutes ahead of time, you know? At least that's what I thought. That's what I wrote on my calendar, and that's what matters, isn't it? Swear, she is the only woman that I can piss off by not doing a damn thing, which takes out of the fun out of all actually pissing her off. Anyway, next time.
Snickers bar tries to hype up the crowd.
Are you all ready for the presentation?
Yeah.
Woo! Apparently nobody told you what it's about.
Suddenly, Wasted Candle enters holding all of the props. Inflated balloons, a candle, a lighter, a pitcher of water, a Snickers bar, a bouquet of flowers.
So sorry I'm late.
You're right on time.
The assembly started 15 minutes ago.
Really? What time was it supposed to start?
At like 6:20.
Why didn't you tell me that beforehand?
I was at HEB to get the balloons and went to the checkout, and the cashier was this guy that I dated in high school. He looked so great, and I was a giant blob, so I couldn't face him. And then he saw me, so I go to another cashier, like a coward. So I walked around HEB for like 10 extra minutes to get the courage to actually buy what I needed, and when I came back, he had totally seen right through me. He was super polite, but like the specific kind of polite when you pity someone and you want to make them feel better because they look like shit and you have the perfect teeth. It was absolutely mortifying. I hate myself. I'm never going to the grocery store again. Oh God. Please don't think I'm an idiot. I'm not an idiot.
Sometimes she's an idiot.
I'm not. You get it, right? Does someone get it? Jamie? Miranda? Anyone?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Sure.
I love you. I'm not an idiot.
Why didn't you just use self-checkout?
You're so mean to me.
Wasted Candle starts unpacking the props on the table.
Is she pissed?
Oh, yeah.
Where is everyone else?
Just you and me.
And them.
Donut?
I'm fine. I am so sorry. We are going to get started soon, I promise. We're a bit of a mess right now.
We will get to the importance of your V-card very soon.
Don't say V-card. It sounds obscene.
What am I supposed to say? Purity passport?
Don't say that either.
P-card?
Sounds so stupid.
Purity passport is stupid.
Don't say that so loud. She'll kill you.
Not in front of the children, she won't.
Purple Flower enters with Leaky Balloon.
The light turned lime green instead of normal green, and I didn't know what that meant. So instead of going straight, I took a right and ended up at the abortion clinic.
How do you get yourself into these situations?
What happened this time?
Oh, good. The latest adventure story.
Why didn't you guys answer your phones?
I was tied up at HEB.
And I just didn't hear it. Donut?
I was lost on the other side of town for like an hour.
An hour is a bit of an exaggeration, don't you think?
Well, might as well have been an hour considering how late this is starting. Is everyone doing okay? We're about to get going. Just read through your activity book. Why don't they have the activity books?
No one says anything.
Well, don't just stare at each other.
Wasted candles, Snickers bar, and wasted and trampled flour scramble to grab the books and pass them out.
Hey, just write down your sins in this one.
I'm so sorry. We're getting it together, I promise.
Here, go ahead and just put your name on it, please.
Well, I think we should just get started.
But we are missing...
What about, what's her face?
She's just observing, it's fine.
Oh, well, I think it'd be kind of rude for us to start without her.
I told her she could see the whole thing.
Well, I don't see her anywhere, and we're all ready. What time is it? 6:30? Oh, 10 minutes behind. We have to get going.
Everyone scrambles a bit to get ready for go.
Always in a rush.
Always lagging behind.
I'll get the props ready.
I can't remember where I start.
Downstage left.
All right.
The team falls at attention.
Welcome, everyone. We appreciate you lending us your ear for the next 45 minutes. The fact that so many of you want to learn about staying pure and protecting your peers is the reason I do what I do. We hope you're excited to be here.
Even if you were dragged by your parents.
Stick to the script.
Just saying.
In the next section, Trampled Flower reads from his note cards.
This weekend, we are going to teach you how to guard your heart.
Guard your mind.
Honor your parents.
Honor your future spouse.
Treat your experience today as an adventure. Let's set some expectations for the weekend.
Have fun.
But not too much fun.
Be ready to honestly answer tough questions.
We hope you will remember this weekend for the rest of your life.
We have some rules for you.
Laugh a lot.
Avoid temptation by committing to staying vertical with... Sorry, wrong one.
It's listen to each other.
I don't understand why you can't just learn your lines.
Confusing presentation.
You would think the note cards would help that.
The next rule.
Keep everything confidential when it's over.
Watch out for traps.
You need to make wise choices based on your personal convictions.
And no one else's. It's also important that you understand how God sees you.
Trampled Flowers steps forward, holding 3 flowers. He looks to the audience and gives this section more or less memorized, still referencing the note cards.
God sees you like a flower. Some of us are like this flower.
He holds one up.
Complete, perfect, and in full bloom, or maybe you are more like this flower.
He holds up a second one, pulls off a couple of petals, lightly messes it up.
A bit rough around the edges, made a few mistakes, but still intact. But some of you are this flower.
He puts the last flower on the floor and steps on it.
Come on, you can do better than that.
I don't want to make too big of a deal out of it.
But you need to help them get the full picture.
Here, let me.
Snickers Bar takes stage and starts stomping on the flower aggressively. Trampled Flower watches. Dirty Water enters with a bag of bananas and a box of condoms.
Hello.
Oh, my lord.
Sorry, I'm looking for the passport to purity presentation. Is this right place? Oh, shit. You've already started. My bad. Don't mind me.
We haven't really started. It's just the beginning.
But it has started all the same.
Guys, it's Manali. Come on in.
Jesse, thanks again for inviting me.
The whole team reacts to the name Jesse.
No. Not Jesse. Here, I'm Trampled Flower. Guys, this is Manali, the woman I was telling you about.
Oh, welcome, Manali.
Welcome.
Didn't mean to interrupt. Mr. Flowers gave me the wrong address.
Did you end up at the Planned Parenthood?
That's the one. It was lucky, though. I got to pick up some different flavored condoms.
Dirty Water adds the condoms and bananas to the prop table.
That's a first.
I got excited because they had some banana flavor. I think it's kind of funny to put banana flavored condoms on a banana.
That's not exactly what we do here.
No.
Well, there is a first time for everything.
Thanks for the offer, but we have a very specific presentation. You can go ahead and have a seat and observe it, and then we can talk after.
Okay. Right. Yeah. I just thought.
What?
when Flowers and I talked, it seemed like this was going to be more of a dialogue, learning from each other kind of thing.
Leaky Balloon turns her guns on Trampled Flower.
Well, Manali is a sex ed teacher. She does this all the time. I thought she might provide a bit of an objective perspective, just in the spirit of making the presentation better.
Holy shit!
Well, that could be interesting.
The presentation is fine. It doesn't need to be made better.
Yes, but you remember I brought up...
Rick, stop it. I remember, and I told you that had no place in our curriculum.
I can leave if I need to. I really didn't mean to cause a...
No, it's fine. We were happy you were here. For now, I think it would be best if you just watched and we can discuss after.
I'll just...
Take a seat.
Well, feel free to grab a condom if you want one. Or a banana.
Or a donut.
Don't be giving away my donuts.
Birdie Water awkwardly sits in the audience. Snickers Bar and Wasted Candle begin changing into a bride and groom costume.
Let's move on to our first little demonstration for you. I'm sure you don't just want to watch me talk about sex for 45 minutes.
I might.
So, as an alternative, we have a little skit prepared. Are you ready, guys?
Almost.
Got it.
Snickers Bar zips up Wasted Candle's dress. There's a moment. Leaky Balloon clocks it, but moves on.
All right, let's go.
This is my favorite part. You guys are going to love it.
Please don't think it's stupid.
It's stupid.
Scene check. Snickers Bar and Wasted Candle switch into character. Snickers Bar holds Wasted Candle as if she is his bride, and they step over an imaginary threshold.
Welcome to our home, my lovely bride.
I can't believe it.
You are stuck with me forever.
Lucky me.
No, seriously, you are stuck.
Come on.
Stuck forever.
Is it too late to change my mind?
Yeah, a little.
I'll just have to make the best of it then. Well, I guess we should...
Yeah.
Do you have it?
Yes.
And that's it and all?
Okay, now.
How long is it?
That's tacky to ask.
Well, then just show it to me.
Wasted Candle reaches for Snickers Bar's pocket.
Wait.
What?
Could we...
I'm sorry, did I...
What? Here. I'll show it to you.
Snickers Bar pulls a Snickers Bar out of his pants. It's dirty, opened, half-eaten and messy. He hands it to Wasted Candle.
What is this?
It's what I was saving.
Why is it opened?
It's just...
Why is it so messed up?
I'm so sorry.
I know I haven't touched it. Who did you...
My high school girlfriend.
Oh my gosh.
We were young and hungry. You know how it is.
Yeah, we were all young and hungry once. I get it.
And we were in the back of a car one night, and I gave it to her, but I saved a little bit for you.
I don't want your dirty Snickers bar. That was mine. It belonged to me. It was supposed to be our special moment, and now it's ruined.
The scene ends. Leaky Balloon steps forward.
What are you going to say? What are you going to say? How will you explain the things you have given away? Your heart, just like that Snickers bar, doesn't belong to you. It isn't yours to give away. It might be tempting and it may taste good, but once that seal is broken, it's lost its value. Wouldn't it have been better if he had just saved his candy bar for his wife?
I'm sorry, what the fuck is this?
Please don't say fuck.
This is what you were teaching? None of y'all believe this, right? I thought this was sex education.
We never said this was sex education.
It's kind of like sex education.
It's sex indoctrination.
She's good.
Just because we're sharing our opinion doesn't mean...
Your opinion.
Our opinion doesn't mean we are indoctrinating anyone. They still have a choice. We said it. In the end, it's all about their own personal convictions. If you had been here for the beginning, you would have heard that.
How can they choose if you only present one side?
I think you should return to your seat.
No. As an educator, I feel I have a duty to make sure that you are teaching facts. These aren't facts. It's manipulative, religious narrative.
You are out of line, sister. We are not manipulating anyone.
Then you won't mind someone else sharing a different side of the story.
Beat. They face off.
It is supposed to be a dialogue, right?
Right. Then let's ask them.
Do you want to hear the presentation you came to see, or do you want a secular voice muddling our curriculum? Anyone?
Let her talk. Fine then.
Iggy Balloon sits on stage.
Fine then. But if you're sitting here, you're getting a new name.
What? Why?
As Christians, we have been giving new identities, but when we do this presentation, we aren't talking about those. We are focused on our sinful names. Up here, I'm just a leaky balloon.
And I'm just a wasted candle.
Snickers bar.
Trampled flowers.
What are you?
This feels like a trap.
You can walk off the stage right now. Be my guest.
Fine. I'll be a dirty hoe.
Oh, no.
They're meant to be a little bit more metaphorical.
What about dirty water? You can be dirty water. That's perfect.
Okay, this was a trap.
And you should be prepared for traps. For sexual, sexy traps. What I can say...
Did you say sexy traps? We don't get into into those in this presentation, do we?
Into what?
You know, like, sexy traps.
It isn't helpful.
Sexy traps, like 50 Shades of Lost My Virginity, you know, like prop heavy cherry poppin'.
No.
Jesus Christ.
Is Lord.
I can't believe you.
But you know what I mean, right?
No. We aren't getting into your weird sex fantasies or anyone's sex fantasies.
Why not?
Look at them. They're all babies. They're like 13 years old.
That is the point. They're 13 years old. It's not like they don't know already.
How would they know about
porn? Porn, right?
No, they have not seen porn. No way. I mean, I don't know. When do kids start watching porn?
He turns to Dirty Water.
Oh, now you're asking me? The sexual health professional?
Yes, please.
Statistically, 1/3 of boys and girls have seen porn by age 12.
12?
Girls?
I was watching porn at 13.
Watching porn at 13?
Yeah, that's like when you start watching porn.
He's right. Like, I mean, I was 11 when I found the normal stuff.
One gives him a bit of a look.
And 14 when I found the other stuff.
Other stuff?
The gay stuff.
Well, if half these suckers have seen what I'd seen by their age, we don't really have to do a ton of educating. They know what's up. I'm looking at you, buddy.
This isn't about knowing what's up. It's about purity, guarding your heart and your mind.
And your browser history.
Which you obviously haven't done, David. Snickers bar.
We could move on to the balloon presentation if that,
But we're already talking about it, so let's just talk about it. This could actually have the potential to be educational. Does that sound like a good idea to everyone?
Yeah. I don't know if I wanted to talk about this right now.
Leaky Balloon, how old are you?
I don't think that's relevant to this presentation.
It's supposed to be a dialogue, right? If we're going to start to talk about this stuff, then we should really talk about it. These kids want you to be truthful.
I've never. So like,
Okay, that's not normal.
Okay, that's what the point of this whole thing is, though. The point is that what we were made for was perfect purity, not teenage pornography. I am sincerely sorry that your innocence was tainted at such a young age, but don't shame me for your shitty choices. I'm saving my first sexual experience.
Your life partner. I know.
Don't do that. Not here.
Well, you're not fucking me, so you don't get to tell me what to do.
Okay, so let's just unpack that.
Absolutely not. I am so sorry. You do not need to hear this.
Don't talk to them about it. You will barely talk to me about it.
Purity is what we are all here to talk about. So if you don't agree with it, then maybe you should just leave.
I agree with you.
I agree too, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't be honest.
I'm not lying.
Neither am I.
Okay, so you want to be completely transparent about your disgusting habits.
Let's not use the word disgusting to describe a perfectly common sexual act.
Yeah, everybody watches porn.
Well, that is a generalization.
Fine, but everyone jerks off.
Still a generalization.
Most everyone, though.
Statistically, 94% of men and 84% of women. It's not everyone, but it's pretty close. Masturbation is a completely normal part of the human experience.
Oh, so now purity isn't human. I'm not a human.
Okay, stop. You can't get mad at us for preaching about purity and then turn around and shame prudes because you can't keep your hands off.
I'm not a prude. I have standards. I don't know what is wrong with you guys, but I'm normal.
Statistically, you aren't. All this stuff, masturbation, fetishes, porn, it's not just a couple of weirdos out there. It's most people, and a lot of Christian people too. You've got to recognize that.
This is all besides my point. My point was, if half these little guys are wanking at home to YouTube pornography and Netflix originals, chances are they already know the coarser details of sexy traps. So are we including bondage fetishes in the purity curriculum or not?
No.
Okay, then.
How many times do we have to go over this, everyone? The curriculum is perfectly fine. We're sticking to the dangers and complications of regular, vanilla sex done by normal, healthy people, not tying people up or watching gay porn.
Okay, that kind of sucks.
She didn't mean that.
I know what she meant.
You know, I love you, but I don't have to love your lifestyle choices.
You can't do that.
I don't have a choice. I didn't make you gay, but you're still my friend, so...
Whoa, this is wildly unhealthy.
You're telling me?
Sexual orientation is fluid. It's a spectrum. It's...
Let me guess. Normal.
Come on. Surely you don't all feel this way?
Well, the Bible is pretty clear that homosexuality is,
What? It's a what?
I don't want to say it.
I want you to hear it come out of your mouth.
An abomination. But that isn't how we see you.
No. You see me as a trampled flower.
Well, we all have pretty messed up nicknames.
Right, so maybe we should just start calling Grace a bigot.
You can't say that. I've welcomed you and accepted you. What more do you want?
Accepted me? You've always held me at an arm's length. You can't play the victim and then turn around and then just act like... You don't even fucking see me.
Will you shut up, Flowers? You've caused big enough of an issue as it is.
I'm done.
Jesse.
No, I'm really done this time.
Flowers exits.
He'll come back. He always comes back.
I don't know, Grace.
It's Licky Balloon. The rules didn't change.
Speaking of that, maybe we should move on to the next activity. The next one is pretty cool.
Licky Balloon grabs a water balloon from the prop table and comes forward.
Your purity is like a balloon full of water. Let's just poke a little hole in the side.
He takes out a pen and pokes a tiny hole in the balloon.
It may look like just a little pinprick. This action looks small and harmless, but watch.
The water drains out.
A tiny thing, and all the water leaks out. It can be tempting to toe the line, but one puncture can change your entire life.
She is exactly right. And the same goes for all latex, friends. When you open a condom...
No.
First check to make sure that the air bubble hasn't been popped.
That's not what...
Then you open it with the perforated side.
Stop.
Be sure not to tear the latex and make sure there aren't any holes. A puncturing condom is not a contraceptive.
This is about balloons, not condoms.
Anything is a condom if you have imagination.
You are talking about virginity like it's a finite resource, and it's not. It is a social construct.
You are either pure or you aren't. End of story.
So you're just going to tell these kids that they're dirty?
If you pop the balloon.
If the goal is for healthy, long-term sexual and romantic relationships...
Within marriage.
If that is the goal, then making people feel worse about themselves isn't the way to do it. They're teenagers, for Christ's sake. They already hate themselves, right? Aren't all of you just anxious and depressed and looking for connection? See? And depressed people don't make healthy sexual decisions.
Not true. Shaming people into celibacy has worked for ages.
That is not what we are doing.
Then what are we doing? Isn't
Then
that what we're doing?
Then what should we be doing?
I think we know what we are doing.
Do you? How many of you want to leave right now?
I cannot.
No, just wait. We're about to get to the good part. Let us finish the presentation. Please, you don't have to believe everything we say, but just listen, and then you can decide for yourself.
You want them to hear both sides, right? Let us finish ours.
Okay.
Everyone starts prepping for the next bit. Wasted Candle picks up trampled flowers, note cards, and hands them to Dirty Water.
We're short a person. Could you...
Fine, but I'm not saying any stupid shit.
Wasted Candle puts on a very cheesy princess tiara and takes center. This is her moment to shine. It should be totally sincere.
Once upon a time, there was a young, beautiful princess. She was born with a very special gift that she guarded to one day give her husband. On her 18th birthday, it came time for her to choose a husband. Suitors came from all across the land to try and win her hand.
Inky Balloon, Snickers Bar, and Dirty Water enter dressed as suitors.
They showered the princess with the gifts and promises, but she would have none of it. Instead, she invited everyone out to a cliff by the palace.
Wasted Candle gets into character as the princess.
This is the highest cliff in the kingdom. Many people have died falling over the side. How close would you take me to the edge?
Milady, I am the strongest warrior in the kingdom. I would take you right to the edge and not let you fall.
Oh, would you?
Of course, to prove that I could protect you.
Princess, don't listen to him. I am the strongest in the kingdom. I would take you to the cliff and hold you over the edge with one arm, and you would still be safe.
I don't know if I want to be held over the edge.
If you trust me, I would show you that I am trustworthy.
No, wait. Don't listen to them. Princess, I wouldn't take you anywhere near the cliff.
Coward!
I would take you as far from this cliff as possible because I would never risk your safety to prove my strength. Jesus Christ.
Let's take to the cards.
Fine. I would selflessly guard your heart, dear princess.
And so the princess picked the British prince because he was the one who valued her for who she was and not for what was in her panties.
Now it's your turn. It is important to establish boundaries in any romantic relationship to keep your heart safe and to choose someone who will respect those boundaries. On your workbook in front of you, there's a drawing of a cliff and a list of sexual acts. Please label how close each one is to the cliff and then draw a line where your comfortable boundary is. This part is up to you.
Is it actually up to them?
Of course. This is all about your choice.
So if one of them decides that they draw the line at a blowjob, but a hand job is within safe limits, you would be okay with that?
Of course. I would just remind them to ask the question, where does God draw the line?
Are you fucking serious?
Let us finish our side of the story.
And let them think premarital sex is equivalent to death?
It's not a perfect analogy, but if it keeps them pure just a little longer, isn't that fine? If it prevents just one unwanted pregnancy, doesn't matter.
If you want to prevent unwanted pregnancies, then give them condoms. Give them birth control.
It's about protecting them from sex, not enabling them to do it.
Some of them are going to do it anyway. You realize that?
Not if we do our job right.
A beat. Dirty Water quickly grabs a banana and condom.
If you decide to jump off the cliff but want a parachute, just follow these 3 easy steps.
Leaky Balloon grabs the banana from Dirty Water's hands and shoves it in her mouth.
Are you serious?
Leaky Balloon can't hold it all in her mouth and runs to a nearby trash can to spit it out.
I guess she doesn't swallow.
Eat bananas.
Do you really think it's better to tell them sex is evil than to teach them to use a condom?
Obviously not.
Maybe, though. Because they're more dangerous to sex outside of marriage than the physical ones, right? Hearts have to be guarded because hearts are vulnerable.
And the way to the heart is through the penis.
Shut up.
But it's not about the physical protection. I know you want to pretend that sex is not a big deal and just a physical act that means nothing, but you have to admit that it's more than that. It can be really special and intimate.
So that is a bad thing?
No, it's just a rare thing. Have you ever had sex with someone and regretted it?
Me? Actually, no.
Have you?
What are you doing?
Please, answer the question.
I guess then, yeah, I have.
David?
Was it because she got pregnant?
No.
Was it because you got an STD?
No.
Why did you regret it then?
I am not the only one who...
know that I just didn't know.
Know what?
I guess I thought...
Yeah, you thought.
Then why?
Because it hurt someone. It was good. Great, even. It was the closest I felt to someone in a long time. You know.
Well, you proved my point. Birth control can't fix a broken heart.
Grace.
Don't.
I was going to tell you.
Which part? That you're not a virgin or that you're a cheater?
We didn't mean...
No one ever does. Which is why you should watch out for traps.
Are you serious?
You have no control over your own sexual urges or the urges of your partner. It is best to never be alone with someone of the opposite sex to avoid falling into temptation.
Grace, this isn't the time.
One mistake. Having sex out of marriage can ruin your entire life and hurt the people who love you, which is why you should pull out your workbook and draw a boundary. At the bottom, sign your name as a covenant between you and God that you will stay a virgin until marriage.
Grace.
Don't call me that. I am leaky balloon. I am a leaky, deflating balloon oozing out all that's left of my purity, and you are a half-eaten Snickers bar. That is all we are from the moment we step on this stage, because we need to show them that once you've had sex, you can't be whole again. You're nothing, and you can pray and apologize and recommit, but you've lost something forever that you can't get back. Do you understand that? And it's not like I'm a robot. I have those feelings. I have those thoughts. Do you really think I didn't want to have sex with you? I love you. I wanted to fuck you since I met you. I used to fantasize about it all the time. You and me, your house, my house, the church basement. My waking hours were consumed by sex. Which is why, yes, even I am a leaky balloon. But I control myself. We were all born broken and dirty and wrong. It is in our nature, and you have to learn to hate that part of yourself. You have to beat it into the ground until you are pure.
Leaky balloon breaks down. Snickers bar and wasted candle don't know what to do.
You should probably go. All of you, that's what you wanted, right?
Grace.
Hey.
Wasted candle shakes her head and pulls him back. Snickers bar jerks away from her touch and exits.
Thank you for... After all this... I'm sorry.
Wasted candle exits. Dirty water slowly approaches leaky balloon. They are silent for a long time.
You know, I was taught this as a kid. I went to one of those assemblies and believed everything they said. Wore my purity ring till I got married. True love waits, right? When I met my husband, we decided to wait to have sex until we were married, and it was hard, but we did it. Our wedding night, after making love to my husband for the first time, and what I was told would be the holiest and purest moment of marriage, I lay next to him and felt deep shame, even after doing everything right. I was sure that I was that leaky balloon, or that dirty hoe.
Oh, but you did it right, so you're not a hoe.
That's not what it felt like. You think that you're teaching healthy sexual relationships, but you're teaching shame. And learning not to live in shame is a lot harder than growing back your virginity. If you're trying to keep sex pure, you lose either way.
But I believe that outside of marriage is wrong, so what am I supposed to do with that?
Sex is simply not that simple. Like now, in this day and age, what is sex? I mean, at this point we know it's more than just penetration. Parents who tell their children not to have sex are referring to a whole array of acts in addition to penis meets vagina. So what is it? A simultaneous orgasm or just getting someone else off? How many of you could confidently stand up here before all of these people and give the most progressive, most all-encompassing definition of sex? Where do you draw the boundary? That's what I thought. It's hard to define because it's deeply personal. It's marriage between the animal and the spiritual. It's as intimate as marriage and as mundane as taking a shit. It's both things at once. It's the holiest and dirtiest thing in the world. No matter what you believe, you can't apply a cookie cutter to everyone's experience. You can only educate them and hope they make the decisions that are healthy for them.
Pinky Balloon slowly gets to her feet and addresses the audience.
So, I'm sorry, everyone. We obviously didn't get it right today. I don't really know what sex is yet, or what it means, or how to talk about it. And when I find out, I'll let you know. But until then, I kind of think I should keep my mouth shut and let you make the choice for yourselves.
She gestures to Dirty Water and then turns to leave. Dirty Water smiles and grabs a handful of condoms.
Just use protection.
She throws condoms into the audience. No blackout. End of play.
And we can have everybody getting their video on, everyone who's still around. All right. Let's hear it for the playwrights, for the directors, and for the cast. Thank you so much. Thunderous applause, wild applause, and everything. All right. Okay, and that concludes our showcase. Pandemic be damned. We went ahead and did it. We did that. So this is being the first live streamed dramatic adaptation class. That means that your plays now exist forever on YouTube. So there's that. I just want to take a minute and really thank you guys. Thank y'all for tuning in, audience out there. But to this class, every single semester, I'm gonna try to wrap up as quickly as I can because I start getting real sad and stuff. But every single semester, every student worms their way into my heart and into my mind, and this class is no different. And y'all are going to go down in history as the resilient dramatic adaptation class. I thank you for your worlds. I thank you for your talent. And every single one of you now has a friend in me, and a great career ahead of you. So one more time, for the last time of spring 2020, adapt and survive on 3. 1, 2, 3. Adapt and survive. Bye now.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Forever.
Bye. Thank y'all. Bye for
Killed
that.
it.
Oh, no.
No.